Here we go. Jam-packed 2 hours on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. We are live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. You can also catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandeo, and Jake Schultz. I left the snake part out. Maybe his mom's listening, doesn't really appreciate me calling her son a snake.
Jake, the nice guy, Schultz.
He's the man. Does a fantastic job on the show.
Should Sam read this before we do anything else?
Tons to get into, including a read.
Not yet. We'll do it. We'll do it.
A read that Sammy has forgotten to read on a couple occasions.
Listen, I'm forgetting a lot of things. I think
your brain's foggy with the cold.
Can you promise me by February or March you'll get over the Blue Jays loss?
Oh, okay. You want to trust tree time here? I really considered taking a day today. I woke up this morning. I felt like crap. I had texted our boss, Ryan, being like,
yes,
you know, I'm not feeling great.
Yes.
I maybe take a day tomorrow.
Oh, listen, you're a millennial. Of course you're going to do that.
And I woke up.
Right?
And I woke up.
Yeah, take 2 days off, Sammy.
Listen, I love how you say this about, and I say this with Gen Z. So we're all, and then I was like, you know what? I can't take the day off because then Daniele Franceschi, who is a professional, will come in and do a really great lineup, and I'll have to hear it from Kyper for 3 weeks. So I decided to come into work.
Yele does such a good job at made Sam come to work today.
See, in my day, if we kind of compared it to playing hockey, I don't want to come out of the lineup because someone better is going to come in and steal my job.
I don't want to get pipped.
No, actually steal my job.
Yeah, that's what. And guess why I'm sitting here today, boys?
You know, one of the crazier things. Just what the hell was I going to say?
Oh no.
What?
Oh, you don't remember what you were going to say?
No.
Oh.
Just skip on. I think I better not.
No, you're not worried about anybody stealing your job here.
No, we're good. We're good. We actually found another lineup while we were here, Sammy, from a different show. It's pretty good, but we won't mention it.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, the fan hockey show. Yeah,
the fan hockey show. Look, look, it's colored.
Oh, yeah.
It's colored.
Yeah.
It's got standings. And it didn't forget about...
You still got buried.
Didn't forget about the technical directors' names on the lineup sheet.
Listen, I got to tell you right now, there are people who are much better at this than me.
It's okay, Sammy.
I disagree, Sam.
We know where your true strengths lie.
Certainly not lineups.
Okay, tons to get into, including my first Real Kypers trade board on sportsnet.ca. If you get a chance, go through it. See, these are some of the names that have stuck out for me. Of course, if we're focusing on the Toronto Maple Leafs, maybe we'll get back into that a little later. I've got Brandon Carlo on the board. Of course, there's other names that could easily go, including like Nick Robertson and Max Domi, but I'm just focusing on the names that I think that could come out of the gate with some pretty good value here, and we're happy to discuss that a little later.
Not now.
Not now.
Okay.
Not now, because I just there's so much to get into where the Toronto Maple Leafs are going into tomorrow night, and I'd rather start there.
Yep.
Just in terms of now, the Toronto Maple Leafs had their first full practice together as a team. This afternoon, this morning. First one since a very tough loss against Montreal. Craig Berube, I think, was very positive at the conclusion, I think, or at the beginning of the skate. I'm not sure which one, but we saw it on the internet where he basically sent the message that, boys, the glass is half full.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite replies to that I saw was, full of what?
Oh, that's funny.
You know, it's they're at a concerning crossroads. I guess I am not as thrilled about this whole, they had a full practice today because Nyes, Matthews, and Waugh were all in gray, not really officially part of things jerseys. So, were they really all together? Are those guys ready? Are they not ready?
Okay, let's go to Craig Berube's for our first clip on Matthews, Nyes, and Nick Waugh.
Okay, I'm going to Nyes, Matthews, and Waugh all practice today. Look good. They did finish practice, but still got to see about tomorrow. So that's where they're at. But it was good that they're out there and finished practice, went through all the drills, and so that's where they're at.
So that means maybe tomorrow?
Yeah, we got to see where they're at.
I want to be sure of at least the meetings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But just got to see where they're at. See, I haven't talked to trainer, I haven't talked to those guys yet after practice, so that's something I got to do.
Okay.
Have you ever practiced 3 times in a row and not been ready to play?
Let's just break this down just a little bit more here, just in terms of what the hell does that mean?
I also thought it was funny that he was like, they practiced today, so that's where they're at.
Hold on
It's
for a
like,
second.
What does that mean?
So the way I interpret that
Okay.
is that we think that they can play, but we've got to pull a Sammy now and see how he feels. And if he doesn't feel right, they get to stay at home.
I would say my attendance has been exemplary over our 5 years together.
I'm
I've
just
had great
using your. I'm
attendance.
just.
Thank you.
I'm just opening.
Thank
I'm
you.
just using your opening
remarks.
example.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we assume that they're cleared to play, that they're good enough to look good at practice. Everything's fine, but we're gonna wake up tomorrow and see how they feel.
Do they all have concussions? Like, this is the example we've used for concussions, but
No, but you're either cleared or you're not cleared at this point.
right.
If they had concussions,
So-
they wouldn't be practicing.
No, I
So
don't think they
if-
do. I'm just saying, then why is it so vague?
If they don't play tomorrow night,
Yeah.
it's because they do not want to play tomorrow night. They don't feel right. They're not. That's what Craig Berube's telling us here. So my question to you is, really in 24 hours, that to your point, we could see 2 or 3 days of something, and then in the last 24 hours, they're going to wake up and not feel right to play. That's all that's left, in my opinion, on what I heard. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Well, the only thought I had is, you play on Saturday night, and if you miss one game, the Wednesday, that gives you basically another week of recovery. And so, like, if
Why not say that then they're not ready?
I
Shut them down.
Yeah.
Why not just shut it down?
Well, say that
Or
again.
turn around.
You think they should if they don't play?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're the team and you're looking at it, you have a 6-day span with just one game in the
Okay.
middle, where if you
Okay.
miss the one game, you
Yeah.
get a nice long. So if
But
you're
would-
if you're like, we're going to bring him back, let's just miss one more game.
Can
and-
you decide that like a
Yeah.
late afternoon Tuesday?
Sure could have decided it Sunday.
So we're down to, gee, I hope they wake up on the right side of the bed.
Yeah.
That's what we're down to.
It's pretty insane. And I, as a player, wouldn't even like any of this. I'd be like,
If you're the injured player,
yes, am I in? I'm saying I can go.
go beyond that. I've been in this situation before where, like, if he doesn't play, I'm playing.
Mhm.
Well, can you let me know?
Mhm.
I'd like to know if I'm going to be a healthy scratch too. This isn't just one person.
Right.
This is like, this could affect 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
So it's like, do I have to come to the rink, see how you feel? And if you're not in, I'm in.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, I'll do my best. But boy, I would have liked to have a good night's rest knowing I'm playing the night before.
I have a hard time, because the Matthews stuff has been well documented with his privacy and the way he wants to be treated in terms of injuries and letting stuff get out, and we all understand that. But do Matthew Nyes and Nick Waugh have that exact same mentality? Like, there's a disconnect or a real connect, one or the other, between players, coaches, training staff, management. It's all. They just want it to be the biggest mystery possible, and it is.
If I'm Berube, today I'm going, yeah, I expect them to play.
Yeah.
And let them pull themselves out then. Then you got to come back to me and you got to say, no, I don't feel well.
Yeah, I hope. Are they
And then
playing
turn
tomorrow? I
around
sure
and
hope
say,
so.
and then call it for what it is. He felt he wasn't ready. We're going to give him till Saturday.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure. And that's allowed. You're allowed to say this guy didn't feel ready to go, so that's why he's not playing. The thing that scares me is, like, okay, so you called today a return with the full team and all those guys are on the ice. One of the lines was Robertson, Domi, Yarncroc today. Which, what is that?
not great.
Like, are they assuming one or two of these guys will be back and today's lines meant nothing, maybe? I actually think that's probably it, where they're like, the lines don't mean anything. We can't put these guys in. Just throw them out there.
Points don't matter.
What is the second line if those guys can't play tomorrow night? Okay, enough said.
McMahon.
Can I ask?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
Is there a reason they're not giving Lawton more of a look higher in the top 6 here with so many guys out? Like, I think he's a guy that
I think he'd welcome it.
I think all three of us have liked him in his start to his season. I know it was choppy. He got hurt to start, gets hurt again. But since he's been back, I think he's shown speed, he's shown aggression, he's shown the ability to dig.
Yeah.
I'm putting him up in the top 6.
There is the matter of just, does it matter where these guys are written up? Because if you're going to say, okay, let's put
Sure,
him on the
that's fair.
second line,
Yeah.
build the second line with Lawton at center. To me, it's McMahon on the wing and, I don't know, Robertson. He's got McMahon on his one wing. It could be Lawrence on the other wing. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know that there's a clear
I would just like Lawton to be playing
more than
17 minutes as opposed to having Domi being on the second line playing center when it looks like he doesn't want to, like he doesn't enjoy doing that.
Right.
To me. That's what it looks like to me. Anyways.
All right, let's go to Craig Berube on his sense of the group, where they are right now. Clip 2.
What's your sense of the group? Do you
Well, I
feel
thought it was good. It was positive. We had a real good meeting this morning and going over some stuff and what we got to be better at and where we will be better at. And I thought the vibe was good and the guys were good and good practice. It's good, hard practice.
Has it been too
We're talking about practice.
I think it's tough to argue with the idea that like positivity is the only way to kind of plow ahead here, but it just doesn't seem like who he is. Like, I'm sure he's frustrated, Craig Berube, but like you kind of have to go into this.
No,
Can't be in there miserable every day.
No, you can't. But the ones that really are the most dangerous for your mind are the ones that don't say anything at all. So you're not coming in positive. You're not coming in negative. You're just coming in.
Yeah.
And,
Coach just even keel. Doesn't matter.
well, just not even keel. It's like, here's the drills. Let's go. And there's nothing more than that where it's like,
Makes people nervous.
makes
like in a
people
good way.
nervous. Does he like me? Does he not like me? Like, I'd keep them all guessing instead of playing the positive card right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to play the negative card either.
Yeah.
But the ones that are most dangerous as a coach to a player's mindset are the ones that you can't read. And
But by
I'd rather-
dangerous, you mean
I'd rather him being silent now than positive.
because you turn it in on yourself, like all of us with our neuroses, being like, oh boy,
Yeah, oh boy.
you know,
I think they should they should all be feeling, oh boy.
yeah.
Do you want to hear the other? Because I mean, like you said, the off the top. Or did you say that about the glass half full? Did you say that on air? We talked about it off
mentioned
air
it,
too. So, clip 9. Play the clip of him talking about the glass half full. There.
okay? Always good. We heard you after practicing glass half full,
Yeah.
not glass half empty.
That's the way you got to look at things. Glass is half full. We got an opportunity to go in here tomorrow and get 2 points, and that's got to be our focus, and then we'll go from there to the next game.
Yep. But
Right,
you know,
glass is half full of
if
water.
there's
Yeah.
if there's a chance that it doesn't turn around, you know, can you keep playing the glass half full moving forward? Like, I mean,
It's just a long year, right?
It's,
and if you're
it's
not
a long
good,
year, but
it's-
is this now the time to do that?
Yeah.
Is he feeling like they're most vulnerable right now that they need
Yeah.
a pat on the back?
I think sometimes when coaches sense that, not that it's hopeless, but that you're severely disadvantaged. Now, their injury situation right now, being without, 2 of your top 3 centers and your top winger, top D, I feel like it's almost like a pity thing where it's like, I don't think it's fair of me to squeeze these guys when we may not have the horses right now.
And that's why you got to just leave as is. The only true card that they can play outside of, I don't expect anything to happen imminently on a trade is you got no choice but to get healthy guys back in and just see what it looks like.
I think Sam's point that he keeps making off air is reasonable. If these guys are close, they should play.
Now,
sorry to throw you under the bus.
But no, it's Okay, now that he's thrown me under the bus, I'll just say it. Like, your team's floundering. You are about to embark on the biggest road trip of the year, maybe of your whole tenure here.
You are last.
With the season teetering on a very, very big cliff. I'd like to see them play tomorrow night.
Yes.
Like, if you're practicing 3 days in a row, I don't know if it's too much to ask for the fans to want to see the captain in the game.
We don't, is it 100% you're looking for? Because there's a lot of Leaf fans that'll take you at 70 right now, and it's not playoffs, it's not do or die, but it does kind of feel like that.
You lose tomorrow night, then you're 2 games under 500, and then you're going to Washington, going to Pittsburgh, into tougher places to play. Like, I know they're not world beaters, but they're better than you.
But it's also this time of year over the past X amount of years, 4 years, November has been where the Leafs have gone, okay, we're just going to separate from the pack. And then when you have a 3-game losing streak later in the year, whatever, it can make it a lot easier. The opposite has happened here. And so instead of getting to a point where it's like, sometimes you lose, you're getting to a point where you can't afford those stretches of play and you need some wins.
Yeah. So.
And it is a little daunting right now when you factor in that the easiest part of the schedule is just kind of gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And half full, half empty. Okay, can we do the half full part?
Mm-hmm.
Love the half full.
Okay. 3 games in a row. Win 3 games in a row. And what does it do to change your season?
Yeah.
3.
And
I'm not asking for a ton here. I know that they're okay. Columbus right now doesn't sound like Werenski's going to play tomorrow night.
I've seen both sides of it. I saw that maybe he would play and that maybe not play.
Okay.
Maybe not at 100%. Olivier left the game last night too. He's a
Maybe a window there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the weekend, Washington just starting to probably feel good.
Pitt.
Pittsburgh's kind of, are they wobbling a little
you
bit?
could beat Pitt.
So 3 games in a row. There's your glass half full.
Yeah.
Okay. The half empty part is there's 60 games left.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it's going to take to make the playoffs?
Like 36, 26, like some sort of like well above 500.
Tell me how many points.
You're trying to get to 91 points. I think that's 35
okay,
wins.
Let's
from
say
now.
92.
Yeah.
92. What is that
35
percentage
25.
clip? 6-10, 6-15.
Ugh.
Can this team go 6-10, 6-15 starting tomorrow night?
Yes, they can. Assuming they're on the verge of healthy here. They got guys who are about to come back.
See, I see no signs of that based on what I've seen for 22 games, but I don't know what the rest of the league's
these players. Like, don't put me on an island here where I look like a crazy person saying a team with this roster is decent. Like, they lost Mitch Marner, and that's substantial.
Yeah.
I will never downplay that.
Yeah. Michelli can't score.
They had 108 points last year. Do you think there's suddenly
Waugh
an
can't
88-point team? Are they 30 points worse?
I think they've gotten slower.
Yeah, I don't think they're better either. I think they're worse too.
They've gotten slower, and I don't know outside of Willie and Tavares where the offense is going to come from.
Okay, but you're aware of Austin Matthews. You've heard of them before.
I have, yeah.
So they can get points.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just take the gray jersey off anytime.
Yes, I know, but in theory, I'm doing a theory where they are hockey players.
Yeah.
In the world where they don't have those guys, they stink. They're brutal without Matthews and Nyes.
And Tanev.
Who
doesn't look like he's...
Tanev's long-term.
I'm worried about him.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Like this...
I'm worried about, just long-term for him.
Yeah. I worry, too, hearing the whispers of having the word neck involved, I think of Jake Muzzin, and that was the end of Jake Muzzin with the Leafs.
I got to tell you, I've been negative about this team clearly and have had my worries, but I've never been more worried than the way you just put it there, Kyper, about the 6-10 winning percentage to get into the playoffs.
That 6-10's not crazy, is it?
It feels crazy right now.
It does.
It
feels very...
The Islanders have a 6-10. They're 13-8-2 on the year.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better.
6'10" is 12-7-4.
Okay.
Minnesota Wild.
Okay, make me feel a little better.
6'10" is 11-6-6.
What's Colorado?
Colorado is 8-41.
Oh, okay.
16-1-5.
That feels a little unattainable.
Yeah.
The glass half full, if I may,
Yeah.
for my glass half full, the one that I said early in the season, and I love when people tweet my own takes back to me. It's one of my favorite things. But this team has always blown through the regular season, and there's never been any adversity, and they've been one of the top 3 spots in the Atlantic every single year, all the way down the stretch, just fighting for seeding. Like, there is a world to me where they get healthy and they scrap and claw, and they have to play these high-intensity games down the stretch, and they find their way into the wild card, and they take a different route for once where maybe it looks a little bit different. That's one glass half full that I have.
Hey,
that
maybe you play your way into the Metro as a wild card.
Think about what, I'm not saying they're the Florida Panthers, but think about what the Florida Panthers did when Paul Maurice went banana lands, went red-faced on the bench. That team stunk all year and got hot at the end of the year, got hot, and went on a run. I'm not saying that that's them, but there is a different route here that they could potentially take that may be a little bit different. That's my as full as my glass can get.
All right.
And if things don't go perfectly, they're boned.
They're done. They're done. They're done. But anyways.
And they've got Joseph Wall back.
Yeah, this is an
But
interesting.
the problem is there's no Stolars to be found. Let's go to Craig Berube on Joseph Wall, clip 4.
He's been solid and it's been very good for our team getting him back in, and then just his battle level. Like, he was so pissed off at me for pulling him the other night, but I like that. And, he wanted to be in there and fight, and that's good.
Did he understand why?
Oh, yeah, for sure he did, but he wants to be in there and fight.
That's great. I like the Wall wanting to be in there.
They're just going to lean on him so hard here. Even if Stolars, he hasn't skated in 2 weeks.
They should trade for a goalie.
Here we go again.
They should try to find a goalie.
Ask Oilers fans how easy that is.
Like,
Well, no, but like a third string guy.
You're going to just,
I guess Hildeby's just as good as any third string guy. So
I don't know. I mean, I genuinely
you
don't know. Maybe.
know that. You're just hoping.
Valley doesn't love Hildeby. He's never been a big fan.
He's not ready right now to play in the National Hockey League full-time or even back up, is my
Little
opinion. He's
Katie
capable
Primo.
of maybe playing a game, but
Yeah.
it's hard to hang your hat on that.
Yeah.
They are, boys, playing a ton of hockey, the Leafs.
Yeah.
Like, I just looking at their schedule, like, they had a nice little break here, but it's a back-to-back this weekend, Friday, Saturday. And then it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday. Like, it's 3 times a week, every week until Christmas.
Yeah.
Joseph Wall is going to play 85% of those games, I guess.
That's just ridiculous for a guy who's
But they have no other
still
option.
has, an injury-prone type of reputation.
But they have
It's
no other
just-
option. What's the other option? Hildeby?
He's got
4 times?
Somebody you gotta hope and pray somebody.
Is
If
Primo with the Marlies?
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He got claimed.
Yeah, that's right.
Carolina, who
Yeah.
claimed him?
Carolina, it's Akhtiamov, AA.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy that they haven't had Wool and Stolars healthy not for one hockey game this year.
is it that crazy?
No, it's not that great.
It's not that crazy because we've talked about them both being injury prone.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy that they haven't over 2 months now. There hasn't been a day where you could make a pick and say one or the other. That's a lot. No?
I honestly don't think it's
yeah,
that great.
that I cannot
All right.
buy.
God, I feel like
I
it's
think-
been 2 against 1 all week.
No.
I feel bad.
It's okay.
I'm so
I'm here representing the positive people out there.
I just had a positive Peter spin.
Good news.
You did.
McCabe
Yeah, he's back.
And
Can we talk about your trade list a little bit before we go to break?
absolutely. Just a reminder, I've got my first Real Kipper trade board on sportsnet.ca. I do have one Toronto Maple Leaf, Carlo on it. Of course, plenty of speculation on what they can do with Robertson or Domi or anybody else.
Yeah.
But Carlo, to me, is still a very attractive piece for other teams.
Let me read a little something here. There's a strong suggestion Toronto and Buffalo were in talks over having Carlo involved in a JJ Peterka trade and then moving Carlo towards a Carlo for Bowen Byram type trade over the summer. Bowen Byram.
Yes.
Oh, would that have been a nice change of pace around here? What happened?
Yes, somebody got cold feet and pulled it.
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be Kevin Adams. Being like, I can't trade another young guy.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
I cannot confirm or deny that, but someone suggested to me maybe even the Leafs weren't prepared to do that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It just would have been nice to have a different look, an offensive.
Okay, I'll tell you what it would have done.
Yeah.
It would have alleviated some pressure off Morgan Riley. That's what
Slotted him
Byram
much
would have
better,
done.
right? Put him in a
Or eventually
for you
go
up
back to Morgan Riley and say, buddy, it's been well over 10 years. How about a fresh start somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not working here.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved, I'm not going to lie, like I looked at your piece and I saw the names. I would have loved a couple more Leafs on there. I would.
Yeah.
The
problem is you're thinking of trading guys out.
They're in last place.
Is it
They're in last place in the East.
Chinnikov for Robertson?
Yep.
That one, again, somebody pulled it off at the last second. That should have happened. That could have been done.
But
would that have satisfied you?
No, I think they should be looking at trading guys that are on their roster for picks. That's kind of where I'm at.
Nah.
Boston did this exact same thing last year, and now they're back in playoff position.
Buddy, do not hold up the Boston Bruins as a picture of like, here come the Bruins.
No. But
They traded their all-time.
They're better than we thought.
Yes.
They are better than we thought.
Yeah, totally. But what's the point? What's the, no team in their right mind with a prime age Austin Matthews and William Nylander and,
David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy.
Those guys aren't the same. And even still, you can go to Tavares and you can go, you're four guys deep there. You have too many good pieces to tear it down to the studs. It's not even an option when you have all that.
I'm not saying tear it down to the studs, but there is a great chance for a soft reset here. And to not lose the 6th overall pick.
But you still have that in 2 months.
I will have that conversation with you in February or March.
Sure. Absolutely. It's insane to think about it in November. We have time to make it.
And what was the feedback you got off of firing Berube yesterday?
Mixed. I think a lot of fans are the same as me, where maybe it's not fair to him, but I think people see how it can make sense.
I think a lot of fans don't want to bail out this core again.
There's
you're really going back
to
this.
bailout.
Without Marner, they're still the same guys who
it's not
couldn't get the job done.
The James Myrtle wrote something today and talked about coaches since Austin Matthews has come into the league, and organizationally, only 3 teams have had fewer coaches than the Leafs over this time. They haven't been bailing this team out.
Avalanche,
Cup winners.
Avalanche, Colorado. Oh, sorry, Tampa.
Cup winners.
St. Louis.
And Florida.
Florida, I think, is one, and then there's also one other that.
Are you talking about a coaching change?
Yeah, who's had less than 3? The Leafs have had 3 coaches since Austin Matthews have came into the league, and it's 3 teams. I think it's 4 teams and 3 have won cups.
Yeah.
So the point is that those are the only teams that are hanging on to coaches. Otherwise, the average for coaches is 2.5 seasons, and so this Leafs team, they haven't had that many coaches. It's not like it's been every 2 years.
It's interesting.
But
it's a good angle.
A new coach would be Austin's fourth,
which is below average for the NHL over that 10-year span. So I'm just saying it's not revolutionary here.
I tend to agree with Brad Treliving that a coaching change, I don't see a big, huge difference. And I look at the New York Rangers, JB, with Sullivan going in there. Okay, did this guy become one of the dumbest coaches in the last 3 months? They kind of still look the same, the Rangers.
Their underlying numbers are really good.
So you want to bring DeBoer in? It's like watching the Rangers bring Sullivan in, and I'm like, I don't see a big difference.
Yeah, maybe. You're not any worse, are you? And to me, at least you're trying something else. My whole thing, though, with Berube is it would be unfair to him right now. They had a great year last year. This year, they had 10 games, and then everyone's hurt, and their goalies made no saves.
Give him some health healthy bodies.
Yeah.
Big trip.
And then you'll fire them.
But yeah, give them 10 games here. And if they're healthy and they stink for 10 more games, I mean, I'm not advocating for it by any stretch. I don't know what the right option is, but I just know if you're not rebuilding, you're not doing a soft reset, you can't wait till January to do it if you're going to do it.
We should go get to Luke, but who wants to win a bunch of cash while doing the best thing this holiday season? Sportsnet 590 The Fan is all in supporting the 50-50 fortune for sick kids. It's a 50-50, so the more money we raise, the more kids we can help, and the more holiday cash you can win. The current take-home prize is a guaranteed $100,000. Buy your tickets at 5050fortune.ca or text the word money to 59590, and we'll send the link right to your phone. 18 plus, please play responsibly. Standard message and data rates may apply. Lottery license RAF 1518410, fellas.
What would you do with $100,000, Sam?
Yeah, I don't know. Be happy. Just I'm not like a
Take a day off from us.
maybe buy some new hockey gear. Could use some new wheels.
Nice.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, Sportsnet.ca's very own Luke Fox will join us. The Leafs practiced today, but they still chose rest over, I don't know, working on the power play. We'll get Luke's thoughts on that and more when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sam McKee, Leaf Hour edition. Let's welcome in Luke Fox, Leaf and NHL writer for Sportsnet.ca. Luke, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
So Saturday to Wednesday, and really today's the only real practice under their belt. Is this? Are you in favor of this rest over a critical road trip coming up?
Not really. I think there's too many issues that they probably should have practiced in full yesterday. I mean, Sunday is a day off, right? It's mandated in the CBA that teams get a day off per week, a full day off, and you can't argue against it. But myself and my colleagues arrived yesterday morning at Ford Performance Center, fully expecting okay, that was a brutal loss in Montreal. The coach, called them out for, not playing like a veteran team. A little bit of panic as soon as they went down a couple of goals in the first period. You would expect all hands on deck, trying to work their way out of it. Instead, it was more of a developmental practice is what they called it. They didn't want to call it an optional. And, so you had a couple D pairs working on stuff with one coach on this pad and other guys working on their shot or their wall pickups over there. But they weren't together as a team. And the guys who logged a lot of minutes stayed off the ice entirely. It was a little bit curious, for sure. Now, you'd like to think that the team knows what the guys need better than someone on the outside like we do. But, special teams need work. It's not like you have to go and do a million battle drills and tire yourself out. I just thought it might have been a moment for some team togetherness and try to smooth out some of the kinks here, because there's more than just one.
Luke, I know Scott Lawton said all the right things today just about, how to manage these tough streaks and sort of holding yourselves accountable, but still not applying too much pressure. You're around the team quite a bit. What is the vibe? Do you sense outside of Lawton frustration with whether it's coaching staff, the way things are going, or are things glass half full around there?
No, I think if they're half full, the coach doesn't have to come out and tell you to look at things half full.
Right.
You just are looking at it half full, right? No, it's downbeat. I haven't sensed crazy frustration. It sounds like guys are banging their sticks against the boards or the glass in practice. If anything, I think it's low energy. So where it really stood out to me was Saturday morning at Bell Center, comparing the two morning skates. Now, the Leafs was an optional, so not every single guy was on the ice, but there was a joy about the Canadians, even though at that point they were on a 5-game skid and hadn't been playing very well. Yeah. But they're celebrating with each other over the silly practice goals. They're hooting and hollering. They're doing the beaver tail slaps with their sticks over every little thing. There was an energy about them. The Leafs, it's just felt like going through the motions. Okay, the assistant coach wants us to do this drill. We'll do it. It's just been quiet.
Yeah.
It's not been angry. It's been quiet.
God, that's worse.
You're watching and listening to Luke Fox from Sportsnet.ca. Will they or won't they play Matthews, Nyes, and Watt? Now, we just had an earlier discussion on everything points to the direction that they're good, they're ready, they look good, good shooting. I don't know. And then you guys are told today that we'll see tomorrow. So what could happen in 24 hours where they don't know to when they know?
That's a great question. And I guess it's waking up and how does it feel? Like if it's a muscle thing, which is what we suspect it is with Nyes and Matthews in particular, like how did you sleep? How are you feeling? You feel like you could take some contact? My guess is no. Like if you're ready to go, you don't usually practice in an extra sweater. So all three of those guys were wearing gray, which is the sign of you're not in the lineup. And Berube is saying maybe. And it's been a lot of maybes lately. I feel like if you're close, then play. If not, just come out and say, you know what? We have a day off after that game. We're not going to rush these guys back. We don't want to risk further energy. Let's wait till the weekend. But it is curious how we keep being told that they're close. We see signs that they're close, but it's not a full green light yet.
Yeah. I'm seeing, some things from the team that they're looking forward to the road trip, to team dinners and poker on the plane and connecting and all that sort of stuff. You look around, you talk about Montreal Canadiens and the way that they sort of seem to have this sort of celebratory nature. I've seen some clips of the Washington Capitals dressing room. They're not setting the world on fire, but they're having fun. Is that like an element here that the Leafs maybe can help them a little bit, being home too much at the start of the year isn't always a great thing when you got a lot of new players.
Yeah, you're looking for anything at this point,
Yeah.
Justin. But I do think the Leafs have had a really wonky schedule. It's been really home heavy. All their road trips, and I've been on almost all of them. So it's a lot of one and done. It's like you fly into Chicago, you fly back. You fly into Boston, you fly back. You don't get that prolonged, like, hey guys, the older guys are away from their kids and their family. The younger guys, some of them may not know their teammates all that well. It's like there's lots of chances for hanging out at the hotel together, on the plane, having dinners, and guys will tell you like that helps. And maybe it would have helped the Leafs if they had one of these longer, like week plus long road trips earlier in the season, because they didn't make enough hay, I think, at home, and their road record right now is worst in the league. So you're looking for something to change the vibe, change the mood. So of course you're going to hang your hat on, hey, we're going to get out there and bond, us against the world, get away from the noise. They flick on local radio in Columbus or Washington, they're not going to catch your show, right?
Luke, when no kidding. When Joseph Woll took 6 weeks off, I don't think it was the thought that when he was going to return, he was going to play every game, but it sure feels like that now. Where are we on Stolarz, and how serious is this?
That's $1 million question, Nick. Myself and others have been asking that point blank. It's really curious because the night he got hurt, we were led to believe he might be available the very next game. And now he hasn't even been on the ice. And Berube has said that there hasn't been a setback, that this is just something that maybe he thought was more minor than actually was. And now we're told he's a ways away. I guess the good news is the timing of Joseph Woll coming back has coincided with Stolar's departure. So you're not leaning on a Hildeby-Akimov tandem right now. And Joseph Woll's played very good. I love the fact that Joseph Woll was angry with Berube for pulling him in Montreal. He wanted to stay in the net. He didn't want to give up. I think Berube respected that. But we're going to see a little bit of Hildeby here. There's a back-to-back on this trip, and they're being very cautious with overworking Woll. They've admitted that they overworked Stolarz at the beginning of the season. I think they view these guys as tandem goalies. Neither has proven ever in their career that they're a 50 start guy. So Woll's going to need to catch a breath I think that was part of the reason for the pull. Part of the reason why we're probably going to see a little bit of hill to be as the schedule ramps up. But I'm with you. I'm very curious to see when Stolarz comes back. He hasn't even been traveling with the team yet, Nick. So is he going to be on this trip? We'll have our eyes open.
What are your thoughts on where Columbus is at? I feel like they've played Columbus 100 times this year.
Yeah.
Are we going to expect anything different out of that group this trip?
Well, we're going to expect them to be as battered or more battered than the Leafs.
Oh,
Werenski's banged up. Marchenko's banged up. Monahan's banged up. Olivier's going to see a doctor today. So the good news for the Leafs is they're getting a wounded opponent. They should be motivated. You don't want to lose 3 games to the Columbus Blue Jackets before Christmas time. Like, let's prove some people wrong here. No one wants to hear the cannon go off. Like, show up for this one.
It always ends up feeling like they lose 6-5 in Columbus for some reason.
Yeah, it's usually a wild night there. It is. Yeah, they've had some funny games there.
Anything else for our Luke Fox?
I guess just is Jake McCabe's face intact?
Yeah.
Like he took. God, that guy gets hit in the beak.
Yeah, that was
okay?
Everybody worrying about the jaw.
Yeah, it's scary, right? Especially on the heels of what we saw, what happened with Charlie McAvoy. It's like you don't know how bad these things are. And McCabe was kind of funny talking to reporters after practice, saying, "I wasn't that scared. I played defense. The puck rides up off my stick and into my face many times before." And he was talking about how his daughter was just hoping that his face wouldn't look all messed up by the time he got back home from the road trip. That guy's a warrior, man. So when he doesn't come back from a game, you start to wonder. And already one half of the shutdown pair and Chris Tanev, we have no clue when or if this guy's coming back. So it's like another blow to the defense would just be crushing. So great news that he's good to go.
Okay, one more before we let you go. Okay. We've heard for Craig Berube, glass half full. Where are you with some of your colleagues? We know how it works at practice. You guys all sit around, you all talk, you drink stale coffee, waiting.
Yeah. We get a hot stove going for sure.
You get the hot stove going. Where is the general media, your peers, on what direction that the Leafs go from here?
Yeah, half empty.
Wow. Wow.
But hey, prove the world wrong, right?
Yeah.
There is tons of runway and there's a soft conference, soft division. So there is runway here to prove the doubters wrong. It just feels like one of those seasons with the injuries, with the defense, with only one good goalie being available at a time. It feels like a cursed season. Tampa Bay Lightning missed the playoffs entirely between a couple trips to the conference finals before they won the Cup. The Vegas Golden Knights missed the playoffs entirely before they went and won the Stanley Cup after going to the final. Like, teams have these bad seasons.
All those guys were in their mid-20s. Right?
Yeah.
Little older group here. Hey, Luke, great stuff as always, man. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate
Fox,
it.
Sportsnet.ca. That's the part that kind of worries you too, right? Where is this? Where are they on the age scale?
Well, where are they? I mean, their most important forwards are not old.
Well,
Tavares is old.
Tavares is old. Tanev, of course, that's your shutdown guy, and really, arguably, your most important defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas he next year, let alone this year, next year, McCabe is on the other side of 30, right?
Oh yeah.
So, we're going to go into our national hour. Rick Dhaliwal is going to join us from Vancouver. Rutherford's on the record, man. Got to get younger, right? Leafs got to get younger.
Well, there's only one way to do that.
Yeah, but not yet. Just yet.
Okay.
Not just yet.
Okay.
Not just yet.
Okay.
So, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No argument for me on
No
that.
argument, but
on that point.
just hang on, just a little longer.
We do have some Berube on some of the other guys on that decor. OEL on McCabe, on Benoit.
I think the most relevant one would be Benoit for our
Benoit.
conversation. Yeah. I don't know. What number of clip is that?
Clip
Yeah,
8.
no, there are, right now we use him as a shutdown pair for a lot of the game. And Benny's got to be physical. And he's got to be aggressive. That's where he disrupts the other team, right? It's just being a little bit more on his toes for me, and just being strong and hard with the puck. You know, he doesn't have to make great plays. He's got to make the easy play and make the right play. That's what I see.
Where is the Benoit that Kevin BX said somebody from Columbus last season?
It was Utah.
Was
But
it
yeah,
Utah?
it was Utah.
Okay, thank you, Utah.
Michael Kesserling, I think
Okay.
it was.
Yeah.
Where is that?
He has
guy?
not been close to the same guy.
No, last
know?
year Benoit led the team in hits. He was he averaged 9.5 per game. This year he averaged
9.5 hits per game?
Sorry, per 60. So
Oh,
that's like
jeez.
3 and whatever. But he averages 2 hits less per 60 this year, 7.5. So he is less physical statistically. And I think we see that, right? He's not as imposing. I think it just comes with getting comfortable. Just you got
Like OEL doesn't rub off on a few guys. Like even in Montreal, like God bless him. He's trying to piss people off. He's trying to draw a penalty. Like,
He did draw a penalty first period.
but he's the effort's there to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that not the most surprising thing? Like it felt like when they signed OEL, it was going to be like, oh,
No, he was like that in Florida. They just couldn't afford him.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
It's-
no,
it's-
he won like that in Florida.
right. It's just such a good contract, and seeing him now like this.
He,
But you don't need him playing 21 minutes per night like he is.
No.
I would say that his game has aged much differently than I thought it would.
Right.
Like after watching him in
Well,
Phoenix.
first
and
of all, in Phoenix, he was paid amongst the top guys.
'cause he was offensive
like a
pedigree guy.
Quinn Hughes
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Phoenix, Arizona, or whatever you call them now.
you call him
that's-
Utah now, but
That's what he was
Yeah.
back then. He was their number one offensive defenseman.
And so he learned or
Yeah, he
just grew
changed.
into an element of
Yeah.
grit. And I felt like I did as a person, where eventually you just kind of go like, you want some respect, and
But
think
yeah, I
you're
was a top goal scorer. I'm like,
Right.
I want a hockey card.
right.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of that has to do with playing in Florida.
What do you mean? No, playing around
Yeah.
those guys and
Yeah.
seeing that?
Yeah, because he
No,
got-
no. That's all internal, bud. That's just a conscientious decision
No,
to
but-
I think.
Oh,
go down that road. I don't need to watch someone else to do it and then I do it too. You gotta.
You don't think playing in Florida had an
didn't hurt,
influence
Sam.
on his
it didn't
turning
hurt.
into what he's turned
But
into?
if that's the only way it comes out of me, it ain't coming out of you at all.
That's fair. I don't remember him ever being like that until he played in Florida. So
And he's honestly, can you name a second guy that can?
Well, they just authentically is like, got some FU to him. Scott Lawton has some
Yep.
sometimes.
Yep.
God, I would love for Steve Lorentz to have some sometimes. He's way too nice.
yeah, very nice guy.
McCabe.
Yeah.
McCabe he catches guys
End,
sleeping.
end of list.
Okay, just whatever
Sammy Blais?
happens, just it's like let's see something in the first 10 minutes, right?
Yeah. Well, the Columbus has no Matthew Olivier, and you're not seeing them again all year. I
Boy,
believe you called that a credit card. Go have your fun out there.
they're going to get such a nice first round pick for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you.
How's
would,
that going to make you feel better?
Yeah.
Well, it might. It might.
So
I
would
guess-
you? We're gonna get into Vancouver here, basically putting up the for sale sign
Yep.
and doing whatever they can to get younger.
Yep.
Which includes, in all probability, Quinn Hughes out the door.
Yeah.
Sooner, maybe even than later. You want to send that message to Toronto Maple Leaf fans?
Yeah.
You do, eh?
Um,
Okay, you're a little early on it. I'm not saying it's the wrong call.
Okay.
I'm just saying, and Justin, you agree, it's way too early.
It is too early.
Maybe in Vancouver you can get away with it, but not here.
Yeah.
Not mid-November.
Sometimes
late
the best
November.
strikes are the preemptive strikes, boys.
Okay.
Painful.
Our thanks to Luke
Painful.
Fox. And when we return, we go national. My trade board is out and live on sportsnet.ca. We've got some Vancouver stuff, so stick around. Rick Dhaliwal is up next. All right, we go national on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. We are live on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at your convenience. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in Rick Dhaliwal, co-host of Donnie and Dhali, the team on Czech television in Vancouver. Plenty news coming out of Vancouver. Today I launched my trade deadline board, something that we did last year. We're going to take another crack at it. Might be a little tougher with the races so close out of the quarter pole mark. But Vancouver apparently is not being shy about this, as Jimmy Rutherford's gone on record on getting younger.
Yeah, it sounds like Vancouver fans have heard it all today, but sounds like Rutherford and Vancouver went out there and sent a bulletin out to all the other teams and said
someone believes in the American Thanksgiving benchmark or barometer.
Yeah. So, okay, we're not very good. Who wants some of our older players?
That's interesting to me. So like, it would just be like an email to like all like the
email blast to 31 other GMs.
Like they had the NHL
Black Friday sale.
Like, hey guys, we're open.
Yeah.
Send stuff in.
Yeah, saying we're trying to get a little bit younger. Names that come to mind, obviously, everyone's going to talk about Quinn Hughes, but Kiefer Sherwood, I think, is on your board.
Yeah, he is.
Guys leading the NHL in hits and on pace for 30 goals.
I think would be the most attractive of them all right now in terms of, we can talk about Petey, and we will, but
Petey again.
Yeah.
Back in trade
absolutely.
Rumors.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
What, and Connor Garland, who hasn't even started his new extension?
Yeah.
He's having he's
but
playing 20 minutes a night this year.
He's a good player.
Good player.
It's funny because, Vancouver's always been a tricky market. We know that. But easy for them to come out and just blast it. Well, Calgary won't do it still.
Mm-hmm. They look like making the mature decision here. Let's get some answers.
All right. Rick, how are you, pal? Welcome aboard.
How you doing, guys? How you doing?
Buddy, with the Canucks off to a slow start, are we safe to say that you are the biggest star right now out of Vancouver?
No, I'll tell you one thing, Kipper. Last night I'm enjoying a nice glass of red wine. I'm watching Dateline, and all hell breaks loose. Thanks to Elliot Friedman. I called up Friedman last night. I tore a strip out of him. I wanted a nice, quiet evening.
So, Rick, this was this had to have been the game plan right out of training camp, that we are going to go to American Thanksgiving. We don't like what we see. We're punting.
Well, they sent out a memo last night, guys, 31 teams. And I don't think they said the UFA players are available. I think they said veterans are available. But the guys that are available, guys, Sherwood, Kane, Bluger, and Forberg. I was told this morning, now obviously they want to get younger, Kipper. I was told this morning that, look, they got to get younger. They're too old right now. Rutherford this morning said, you can call it a rebuild if you want, a retool, rebuild on the refly. Call it whatever you want. The bottom line is they're 30th in the National Hockey League standings and dead last in the NHL in goals against, dead last in PK, injuries galore. I'll give them that. There's been a lot of injuries, but something had to change. They've lost 6 of their past 7. And, the one player I've heard, Kipper, this morning that's getting the most traction out of Vancouver is Sherwood. He's a UFA. Leads the Canucks with 12 goals, second in the NHL in hits. He's a UFA. There's been no contract talks. There's been no offers. That guy's going to cost you, I think, that number starts with a 5.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Canucks want to go there. I do want to mention this. Connor Garland's name has popped up. But I want to say I'm not 100% sure the Canucks want to move him. He's great for the culture. Works his ass off. They could trade him, but I'm not 100% sold they're going to do that. I think in a perfect world, they want to keep Connor. But this is going to be moving targets for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in Vancouver. Just moving targets. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Okay, let's stay on Kiefer Sherwood for a second here, because I've got him highlighted on my trade board today on Sportsnet.ca. And no question, coming out party last season, and it's followed up with a terrific start.
Yeah.
The ask out of the Vancouver Canucks, I think, was $30 million. To your point, $5 million times 6 years.
Yeah.
Vancouver cannot go down that path, correct?
Yes, do it.
Okay.
So, Kyper, let me get this in, because he plays for the Maple Leafs. The Canucks are scared of another Dakota Joshua situation. And Dakota Joshua wanted to triple his salary in Vancouver, and he did it. Canucks started their first offer at 2.5, I think, and ended up 3.2. That was not a great contract. Like, it didn't go smooth. And they're kind of worried about another Dakota Joshua contract. And so when you're going to give a guy triple his salary, there's concern there. And that's nothing to take away from Sherwood, Kyper, because he's been great. Like, he scores goals on breakaways. He scores goals with nice hands. He goes to dirty areas, scores dirty goals. The guy's been great, right? But I think he has outpriced himself in Vancouver, bottom line.
JB, I'll get you in here for a second. What is his value? Do you trade him as a top 6 guy? Like, how do teams proceed to trade for him as a top 6 guy or a bottom 6 guy? He could end up scoring 25, 30 goals this year.
That's it. So what do? He leads the team with 12 goals. He was 3rd in the NHL in goals last week. The guy is scoring at a really good clip. He's a good team player. Vancouver's #1 draft pick, Braden Coots, said one of the guys that took him aside at training camp and really, taught him the ropes was Sherwood. He's a great character guy. There's a lot to like here, Kyper and Bourne with Sherwood. He has put himself and his agent in a real good spot, but that's a good question. Is he top 6 on a playoff team, or is he bottom 6 on a playoff team? That's a great question. And I would love to see what other teams perceive him to be.
So what do you think the Canucks' plan is in terms of, all right, they got all these guys to trade. They could turn them into draft picks, but then they also have some pretty good core players right now. Would the plan be that to flip them in some sort of like turnaround and try to get different for next year? Or would it be a strip it down? Like, what is the plan greater than just get younger?
Well, you got a president here that's not a young guy. He doesn't want to stick around for a rebuild. Right. You got a franchise defenseman, the best defenseman in the history of the Canucks, and you got to keep him happy. They're kind of stuck right now. Like, if you go to the rebuild, you can drive Quinn Hughes to the airport the next day, right? Now they're going to trade these guys and get young players. They're not going to get better. When you trade veteran players for young players, you don't get better. You get worse. So how's Quinn Hughes going to take that? The whole thing this year for me is win for Quinn, appease Quinn. Look, if this guy walks, we've never had a defenseman like this in the history of the franchise. You finally got one, and he might walk. He might walk. Like, I don't know. Like, they got to get to Quinn in December, I think. And they got to sit him down and say, "Hey, look, bud, what are you thinking on your future?" They got to get to him and his agent Pat Brisson, and Quinn Hughes is the #1 story in this town. And how do you keep him is got to be something that keeps this team awake, management and the ownership up every night. It took 50 years to get Quinn Hughes in this market, and you're going to let him walk after 6-7 years? In a perfect world, he comes back, but he wants to win.
But why would he come back? Just based on this whole thing about everybody available and getting younger, there is no possible way it makes sense that he finds a way to stay here long term.
Kyper, nobody thinks he's coming back. That's when you talk to hockey people,
then
they all say
you're going to move him now or this summer.
Yeah, I think the preference is this deadline, Kyper. Look, he's a great kid, but he wants to win. Elite kids want to win. They hate to lose, right? He's tired. He's tired of losing, the drama in the city. He's tired of 4 coaches in 5 years. He's tired of all that stuff. It's time, the organization to show up. But they're in 30th place. Like, how do you go from 30 to 15 overnight? You can't. And now they got to go to California without Lankin and Demko. They got their 2 American Hockey League goalies in California this week. Like, I don't know. Like, I think the biggest thing is, how do you keep Quinn Hughes? I don't know how you do it. If the kid stays, he stays. But like you said, Kipper, they're in 30th place. I don't think he's doing cartwheels about that.
Well, our Sammy feels a lot better about the Leafs after listening to you.
Sammy Quinn Hughes ain't coming to the Leafs.
I want to say one more thing. You might hear Tyler Myers' name when you talk about veterans, but I want to get this in because I think this is important. The Canucks may or may not try and move Myers, but I find it hard to believe that Myers and his agent, J.P. Barry, will say yes to a trade. He's got a no move. Myers took less money on his last deal to have the comfort of having a no move for his family. He's got a family in Kelowna. He's got a house in Kelowna, loves Vancouver. He told J.P. Barry last contract, get the deal done in Vancouver. He loves playing here, but players are taking less on contracts to get the no move, right? So, look, JT Miller had a no move, but it got so bad that he said, hey, I'm out of here. But that's when a player gets a no move and takes less money, he doesn't want to move. He wants to stay. He's got a young family, the whole 9 yards, but it's good. The Canucks got a ton of guys with no moves, but it's going to be interesting. Who do they go after for no moves?
I mean, looking at the way this is all set up here, if Quinn Hughes is in fact someone they move at the deadline, you know, they kept Pettersson after the whole Miller fiasco last year. He's 27 with some years left on his deal. Could they move both those guys in the same year?
I'm not hearing they want to move Pettersson. I'm not hearing they want to move Besser. I'm not hearing that. If they have to go into a rebuild, they're pretty happy with Pettersson the last few weeks because he's turned it on. And Brock just signed for 7. I'm not hearing that Besser and Pettersson are 2 guys they want to move. Now you can't strip it down and have an American Hockey League team either, guys. Hey, by the way, their American Hockey League team in Abbotsford's lost 15 to 16, and they're 31st in the American Hockey League. That's kind of the season the Canucks have had. They're in 30th, and their farm team's in 31st. Injuries have played a role. You got a new coach, you got a new system, you got all that. But it's been a tough go this year. But I think what they did last night was they said, we got to get younger. We're going to move out some UFAs, and we're going to do a little bit of it that way and go from there and see what happens.
Demko's going to travel with the team, but not expected to play.
I think he's going to join the team, Kipper, at some point on the trip. I don't see him playing on the trip. Yeah. 2 weeks ago today, he got hurt against Winnipeg. It's a groin, right? Groins are usually, and you would know this, both of you would know, groins, for goaltenders might be a week or 2 more than, defensemen or forwards. And he's a big guy. But, if it's 3 or 4 weeks, you got to be paid. Hey, look, when it comes to Demko's injuries, I don't care how long it is. Take your time. Don't rush the guy. Because he's got a new contract kicking in next year, guys, that is going to be for over $8 million a year. The guy needs to stay healthy. The Americans are watching, right? For Demko, Hellebuck, Ottinger, Decourt in Seattle's been great. The Americans are loaded in goal. But before he got hurt, I heard that Demko was 100% in the mix to make that USA team. And now we'll see what happens when he gets back from his injury.
You're watching and listening to Rick Dhaliwal, co-host of Donnie and Dhali, the team on Czech television in Vancouver. So as far as Demko's future, the short-term deal, does that change anything about possibly exploring whether or not, he's the goalie of the future, or seeing what kind of value's out there for him?
Hey, the Canucks goalie of the future is in your backyard. Medvedev with the London Knights. That kid's going to be good. That was a great draft pick by the Canucks. Okay, so here's the goaltending. Demko's not going anywhere. What team right now, Kipper, has taken him with the injury history? And Lankin has got a no move for 2 years, right? Lankin is not going anywhere for 2 years. They're basically, it's Demko and Lankinen, you're hoping the kid in London comes in. Probably he's going to have to go to the American League, but they're really high on him. He's a really good goaltender, but he's the goalie of the future. But Kyper, what team in the NHL right now is saying we'll take
Edmonton desperate enough?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a great point. But do the Canucks want to trade him in the division?
Good question.
Cap space is an issue there.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. That's a tough one to pull off.
Hey, I'll tell you another one. The Oilers were in on Seeloffs in the summer, and the Canucks told Edmonton that he's going to the East, and no thank you, we're not putting him in the division, right? So Edmonton was in on Seeloffs, and the Canucks said no, right? You don't want to trade a goaltender who might become a number one guy in your division. He'll haunt you forever.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Wanted to get your thoughts on Evander Kane and what you're hearing around him. Maybe he hasn't produced to the level that people thought, but I see he's playing 18 minutes a night. Where are the Canucks and what they've got out of Kane so far?
He's playing 18 minutes a night on the 30th place team, Bourne.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but he takes a lot of penalties. He drives the fan base here nuts with the penalties. And it took him 18, 19 games to get a goal. Look, he's going to be moved here. He's one of the guys that when the Canucks sent out the memo last night, he's one of the guys that's going to get moved. There's no question. Look, he was a 1-year stopgap. They didn't have anybody on the wings in the top 6. They took a chance. And look, he's getting up there in age. I think he's got 6 goals in his last 40, 50 games, right? He's not a young buck anymore, right? He's getting up there in age, the body. And look what he went through last year in Edmonton. Guys, he didn't even play in the regular season, right? So, the body, he's played a ton of Edmonton playoff games. The body takes a beating year after year of all those long playoff runs. But I think you're going to see him moved here, guys. I think Kane's going to be a guy. They got a kid named Lookahead here. He's in Abbotsford, first-round pick. They got to find room for him, right? Yeah, they got to find room for him. So I just don't see a long-term play for Kane in Vancouver at all.
Hey, Rick, what is all this news in the last 24, 48 hours about a change of direction do in that Vancouver market? Because there were a lot of people optimistic that they can hang in there and push for a playoff spot. And we're watching Calgary Flames organization that's scared to say, like, let's go. We're building for the future. We got to get younger. They won't do that. How is it Vancouver's able to do it so freely?
Exactly. I'll tell you something right now, Kyper. People in this town are begging for a rebuild. Begging. You know what? John Tortorella told them. He said it's stale. Rebuild. Mike Gillis told them rebuild. And Ryan Kessler said, I'm out of here. Rebuild. And then Trevor Linden said rebuild in 2017. But the owner believed in Jim Benning, who said, I'll fix it in 2 years. And he said, no, I'm not going to rebuild. We have an owner here that doesn't want to rebuild. You got a president here that's too old to do a rebuild. You have a star defenseman here who, if you announce you're going to do a rebuild, is gone the same day, driving to the airport.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's, tracking in a certain direction.
Can I follow up
please?
one more?
Yes. Please
okay.
do.
So where does that leave Jimmy Rutherford and Patrick Alvin, Rick, in terms of, hey, yeah, I got all the trust in the world for you guys to do this, and we're all in on you. Is that the case, or are people questioning whether or not these guys still have what it takes to fix this?
They're getting heat in the market. You should come see our text line, Kyper. Hey,
ooh, don't laugh.
See our text line. Fire Rutherford, fire Alvin, but fire the owner.
Okay,
you
so
have
it's
to see our
standard.
text line. It's they're getting heat. They're getting heat. It's been their 4th year here, guys. We've had one playoff, right? And this year they're 30th. I don't see the playoffs unless you guys do. That's going to be 4 out of the last 5 years is going to be no playoffs for Rutherford and Alvin. That's not good. It's not good. They're getting a lot of heat in the market. There's no denying it. No denying it, Kyper and Bourne. Look, this is Canada. This isn't Carolina or Columbus. This is an intelligent hockey fan base in Vancouver. Yeah, we got a lot of nut bars on Canucks Twitter, but you know what? It's a fan base that cares, and they know their hockey. and they want people held accountable for what looks like another tough year.
So is it unfair to be critical of Adam Foote if we believe that the GM and the president have left him with nothing to work with?
No. Adam Foote, come on, guys. First year, we're a few months into this. Look at his salary and look at what they offered Tocchet. What do they offer Tocchet? 5 times 5. Foote got 1.5. I mean, there's a reason he's there, right? I mean, give him time. One thing I like about Foote, he doesn't throw his players under the bus. Like the young kids, he got in a little trouble yesterday defending the young kids. He doesn't throw his guys under the bus. He doesn't do any of that stuff. He has not had a complete roster all season long. Hoglander got hurt in training camp. He's had one night he had 9 guys out. He's had 7 guys from Abbotsford in his lineup. Both of you go behind the bench and tell me if you can do better.
I think he might be the perfect guy to have under this scenario with all his experience.
That's it.
He's lived through everything.
Yeah, that's it. And you know what? The poor guy had 9 guys missing one night. The Abbotsford, he had 6, 7 guys from Abbotsford. No American Hockey League team should have 6 or 7 of their guys in the NHL roster. There's no way.
No, it's crazy.
No way. It's too much.
Wow.
Lots going on there. Dhali, you sound like you're busy.
That was like a tsunami of information out of Vancouver. Rick, thanks for doing this, pal.
Hey, keep an eye on my boy, Chris Tanev. He's my guy. I love him.
Yeah.
His dad's a nut bar, but keep an eye on Chris. He's a good guy.
We know.
Okay.
We know.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Rick.
All right, guys.
Rick Dhaliwal.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I love that guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's basically saying that people are screaming for this, right?
Yeah.
But you can't scream for this and keep Quinn Hughes. I'm sorry.
No.
It's one or the other.
No, and that's really it's sad. Like he said that they haven't had a defenseman like this in 50 years or whatever. I don't know that there's been a defenseman like that in Canada over that time. We did before the show, we were talking
he's off the charts.
We were saying he might be is he the 5th best player in the NHL? Like McDavid, McKinnon, McCarr.
It's really hard.
Draisaitl. Name a better player than Quinn Hughes.
It's really hard
that.
to go past the first 4 in Colorado and Edmonton and not pick Quinn Hughes.
So I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, the NBA makes these trades where didn't the Clippers trade like 5 Oklahoma City traded 5 first rounders at some point?
There's been a lot of them, but the Oklahoma City got Shea. They got Shea and they got a bunch of stuff when Kawhi went to the Clippers and Paul George went to the Clippers. They got a bunch of different stuff.
My point is, if you go to trade Quinn Hughes right now, what team in the league wouldn't give up 2 first rounders plus for Quinn Hughes?
That's not the challenge. The challenge is, does he want to go?
Stay.
And does he want to stay and sign an 8-year deal?
But does he has
the Devils have
does he have trade protection on
None.
his? So that's the thing.
But it's irrelevant.
Is it?
Well, sure. Like I'm not giving up 2 first picks and a blue chip prospect to watch him walk out the door in a year.
You'd have to do the Carolina Rantanen thing where you trade for him, try to make it work, and if he doesn't want to be there, then you've still got Quinn Hughes as an asset.
Oh, buddy, that's nothing but a disaster waiting for you.
It could be, or you could sign Quinn Hughes.
Just like you said, just go and study that blueprint of Carolina to trade for a guy and then ask him later. It's like Carolina made a horrific mistake without signing off from the agent and the player. Listen, we want you to stay. We're not doing this so you can walk out the door. So let us know now.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it anyway.
There's a risk.
They did, and I don't think right now they hate how that turned out for them. They got Stankoven, 2 first rounders, a 3rd rounder. Like, that's better than what Natchez was for them. So I don't know that they hate how it turned out.
But they got to win now, too, eh? They got to win now. That's not, those 2 first rounders are doing nothing for them to win the Stanley Cup in the next 2 years.
Well, it's assets they can trade. You're right. It depends what they turn those into. But this is the point with Hughes, is that there could be more than New Jersey sitting out there going, all right, maybe we can talk this guy into it. New Jersey has all 3 of their first-round picks coming up, by the way.
No, just think about New Jersey's situation
And
here.
all their second
And
rounders.
I've got two of your brothers,
Mhm.
and I know you want to come here.
Mhm.
I ain't overspending.
Because you're
Right.
just going to sign there anyway.
But the Canucks.
Can I wait? Or,
Yeah.
I'd like to get you, I'll give you a fair deal, but I'm not blowing my brains out to get you now.
Well, and I think that probably creates a problem where it's like, if you bring Quinn Hughes in, you don't want to have to give up all these assets because you want to win when he's there. So can you just wait the year and a half from now when he's a UFA? But he'll get traded somewhere else before that. So
How many first rounders does New Jersey have? Because
Oh.
I'd like 3 of them,
Sure.
right?
And I would give those for Quinn Hughes. If he's going to
Yeah.
sign for 8 years,
But I think
Done.
that's the tough thing you're talking about, where if you're Quinn Hughes, go to a team that has no first rounders. That doesn't help us win a cup.
but you would, if you're in New Jersey,
Yes.
give up all 3 of them.
Yeah, I think
If-
you'd be
if
crazy
he's-
not to.
If he's willing to
Well,
sign.
But that could be the Stanley Cup right there.
Can I do 2 and some prospects and something else? 3 is a lot in the NHL.
3 first-round picks. Take it or leave it.
I am
Quinn
giving
Hughes,
it
yeah.
all day long.
Me too.
All day long.
Immediately.
Knowing he's going to resign, I
Yeah.
think you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
If I can get him down for 8 years, I'll give you 4.
I don't think you can do that.
Because what are
Well, I
you?
don't think that's allowed. I think you can only do 3 in
'Cause
advance.
if
Are
you
you
have,
serious?
Yeah.
That is stupid.
well, they're
rule.
labeled 3 in advance.
No, I
Sure.
think you can
that
only
right?
do that. Like
I don't know.
I mean, the NBA 2032
Yeah.
first-round picks are getting traded.
The other thing is that what's a first rounder of New Jersey's once they have Quinn Hughes? They're already a top team in the league. Like, we're looking at 27th, 8th, 9th picks. Definitely, I would
26,
do all
27, and 28.
three. I would definitely do all 3.
I would do all 3 all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be crazy not to. He's unbelievable.
But if you're Canucks fans, 3 first sounds good. 3 picks in the near 30th doesn't sound great.
Mid.
I don't know if that's going to do it for me.
yeah.
Can I get some team that
Yeah.
has picks higher up the
listen.
board?
Then throw in a couple second rounders to make you feel better.
Can I call, who's in the tri-state area around there that could use him? Do the Rangers, if they're worse? Who's worse that is around there? Philly?
We could call the Islanders.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is the Islanders, yeah, they might have like the 15th, 16th pick.
Yeah.
Because maybe he'll settle for being around his brothers, if not on the team.
Game time?
Game time.
It's game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. It's 15 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. 1 game tonight, boys. 1
Which
stinking hockey
will
game.
feature our Justin Bourne on
Fabulous.
I will
The
tell you
only
everything
game in
you
town.
need to know.
So it is the Dallas Stars are in Edmonton. Edmonton returns home from their long Eastern road trip. I was trying to see here. As you would imagine, the Oilers are faves in this game. Minus 135 on the money line. I was gonna see saves. Stu Skinner has historically been very good against the Dallas Stars. He has actually owned them pretty hard in playoff series where he's been much better than Jake Ottinger. I'm taking a little shot tonight. Give me 25 plus saves for Stu Skinner at plus 165 tonight.
That's saves?
Yep.
He can give up 5 goals? He
25
just needs
saves.
to- Yeah.
25 plus saves. And if you want to get even more aggressive, you can go 30 plus saves at plus 575.
Tough to be a goalie for Edmonton. Slot shots allowed, they're 27th.
Stu Skinner has been really good against the Stars in his past, so that's what I'm taking tonight for a little game time bet.
I pretty much came out of the gate on my trade board with Binnington
I saw
to
that.
the Oilers, and Skinner would have to go the other way.
I actually think Skinner's a nice goalie to trade for. He's ton of experience. He's not that old.
He's
pretty cheap.
He's a really good kind of grade A backup.
Yeah, you don't want him to be your starting goalie on a cup
him and
contending team. but
Stolars
I'd
to
trade
me
for him.
are the highest and 1B ish.
I think that's totally bang on.
Skinner from Stolars. Anyways, that was game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. It's 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Books on the other side of the break.
Okay, Jason Bukala, Pro Hockey, Sportsnet, taking in the CHL prospects, right?
Yeah, it's CHL versus the USHL. They play against each other now.
So-
And he's there for that. But there's lots of top prospects. Lots of Canadian teams kind of
Yes.
suck. So
Yeah.
Good time to kind of start talking about this
We'll
draft
talk
a
about the
bit.
Canadian standings before we get to him, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll ask him your idea about the Leafs tanking to keep their 5th pick.
Not tanking, soft resetting and hoping the lottery balls turn out correctly.
All right, expert analysis. Jason Bukala next when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. A reminder, Leaf alumni this Friday. I am playing in the Shoresy Fall Classic at Scotiabank Arena, where the cast, many of them good hockey players, the Nolan brothers, will play your Toronto Maple Leafs alumni.
I will say one of my favorite things about Shoresy, and there's a lot of things that I love about Shoresy, but the actual gameplay is the best any hockey.
That's pretty cool.
Like they're all real hockey players.
Right, yeah.
So they skate and they shoot and they look like real hockey
And they're
guys. I
younger.
love it.
Yeah,
You guys are gonna
I'm
get
cooked.
You guys are gonna get rinsed.
I'm
Probably,
cooked.
but it's
I'm
all right.
cooked. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, I love Rick on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get him a camera stand. Okay, please get him a camera stand. I don't know whether to ask him about Quinn Hughes or tell him to get cover because there's an earthquake going on. Okay? Please.
Hey, he's kind enough to put in the time and hold the phone the whole time. He's a worker.
I'll see what we can do for next time we have the Dhaliwal on.
All right.
Because he's an electric factory.
All right. To a pure professional
now
on
we're
camera, Jason Bukala.
There we go.
Now,
Look at this guy.
Look steady. Look how steady that is.
This is as steady as it gets from the hotel room in Calgary. Truth be known to nobody who's listening or watching, because I'm on right now, but it's on the ironing board here, Kyper. So I mean that's high tech here in the suite. You know,
there's a couple of creases in your jacket there. Maybe you have to go back to the board.
That's next. It's actually burning a hole in the back of my iPad right now, the iron. So we'll get there.
So what is going on? We find you in Calgary, correct, for the CHL USA Prospects Challenge?
Yes. Sammy and I are out here. We had a great day yesterday interviewing a lot of the top prospects, and to no surprise, just like the last couple of draft cycles, the kids coming through are really mature, really, really dialed in. And it's refreshing because, as you guys know, a lot of these guys have never been in job interviews before or gotten in front of a lot of media before. And they're a little nervous, right? They're a little worked up. And every one of them were just right naturals. Like they weren't schooled. They just were themselves. They didn't pretend to be anything they weren't. And I'm looking forward to the game tonight in Calgary, and then we're heading over to Lethbridge tomorrow. So fingers crossed the weather's good, and we have 2 great games.
And this is just completely covered from head to toe by every NHL team. Like this is a major, major event for them to really start assessing which direction they want to go.
Absolutely. And I think that this year, as everybody's aware, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it a lot today on the show, and we're going to continue to talk a lot about it. There's just so much momentum now in the Canadian markets. And for myself and Sammy specifically, keeping a close eye on these kids, it matters a lot more to the Canadian team fan base, if you will, given the state of where hockey is in Canada for the first 25% of this season. So everybody's here. Jim Nill was Dallas is staying in our hotel. Sammy and I were out for a nice Italian dinner last night, and Craig Conroy was in the same restaurant, so we had a nice discussion with him. Obviously, it's a home game for him, but no, all 32 teams are here. Most of them are at the practice this morning, and it's full of a lot of black tarps, a lot of Scout Cetos for sure.
It's crazy that, you know, last year 5 Canadian teams made playoffs. The 6th, you know, the Flames had 96 points and didn't get in. This year, I mean, it could be 2. You know, and you know, that may be generous to say. So concerning times for sure. Why don't you give us a bit of a sense of the draft board? Some movement at the very top right now. Sounds like McKenna not so much the sure lock he once was.
Yeah, that's a fact. My draft ranking will come out after these 2 games. My first draft ranking of the year. Sammy's had a couple already. Keaton Bearhoff has taken over the number 1 slot for me, guys, and the big right shot, 6'4", 212-pound right shot defenseman from North Dakota, 17 years old. Bourne, you played college hockey. That's a heavy lift, right? At that age for a young defenseman. There's no easy shifts for guys like that, whether you're defending against skilled guys or you're defending against a horse in the four hole who weighs 210 pounds and he's 24 years old. And he's been really good at Nodak. He's the number one guy on my list, like I mentioned, and complete player, different than Matthew Schaefer. But for me personally, when we drafted Aaron Ekblad back in the day for the Florida Panthers, Keaton Verhoff has got more upside than Ek did in all the categories. I think Ek had more offensive upside, and he's been kind of in and out with that throughout his career and had to learn to be a better defender as a pro, and he's obviously done that. But Keaton Verhoff right out of the box, he skates, he's ranger, he's big, he competes the full length, he can lug the puck on his own, join as an extra layer, all the sexy things, all the attributes that I would say, I'm giving you reason why he's number one. McKenna, it's not that McKenna so much doesn't deserve to be number one. If you want to go 1A, 1B, it's just that instead of, one thing that's bothering me right now when I hear people talk about McKenna being a number two, they're discounting Verhoff's play a little bit. Instead of saying, well, how great the one guy is, it's like, well, this guy's falling to number two. Well, listen, being ranked second overall in the draft cycle at this time of year is still a feather in your cap. He's got a lot of runway. He still could end up being number one. He's dynamic offensively, but there's a lot of competition. Overseas, there's a lot of competition. Ivar Stenberg, but he's playing in the SHL in Sweden. I think that he's going to challenge even to go as high as two. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody has him one on their list. And you're going to get into a lot of defensemen and a lot of big forwards. I know that it's kind of curious. The game is changing a little bit right now. There's a lot of size coming back into the league. And Ryan Rubrick from the Niagara Ice Dogs at 6'4", 215 pounds. And Ethan Belchez, the center from the Windsor Spitfires, is 6'5.5", 228,
Jeez.
Fellas. So, yeah, big bodies. There's lots to like, lots to go around.
You're watching and listening to Jason Bukala, Pro Hockey Group, Sportsnet, Puckpedia, and former NHL scouting director. So I want to go back to Gavin McKenna for a second here. Was a contributing factor of him losing a number one status contributed to him leaving junior hockey early to go play college in the U.S.?
Well, first of all, there's definitely a wave of intrigue. It's like a case study this year, I guess is the best way I can put it to you guys, with these junior guys that are coming down here, and vice versa, by the way. There's some American kids that are coming north of the border, but that had nothing to do with me slotting him in number two. What at this time of year, let's say he played in Medicine Hat right now, and I'm up here watching him play for Willie Desjardins and the Medicine Hat Tigers, and he's running all over the ice sheet, and he's putting up an excessive amount of points again, and you're really intrigued by his offensive upside. The thing of it, Kyper, as you know, is that you better have a B game as you quickly start to approach the pro. So Celebrini, for example, when he graduated out of college hockey, you knew he was going to track up and down the ice. You knew he was going to be better than average with his compete level off the puck defensively. So that is what I was starting to mind down on, or would have been anyways with McKenna. And the fact of the matter is, he would have been under the microscope that way. And that part of his game is what's kind of slotted him for me where he is right now. He's not as complete. He's not as engaged in all facets of the game. And don't get me wrong, I don't need him to run over people. I just need him to be average plus, average on the defensive side, be engaged, active stick, kill plays, whatever. I need him to do that. And he hasn't done enough of that so far.
So when you look around the draft, I don't know if you do any sort of like tiering, just in terms of, where you need to get get a good player, looking at these Canadian teams who could be picking reasonably high. How high can you pick and still get a difference maker roughly in your estimation right now?
10,
High.
12?
High.
Yeah, at least 12 for me. So what you're describing is, I just call it a line in the sand. That's what we used to describe it as in Florida. And what it is it's your cutoff point where you are saying to yourself, am I drafting in this slot? Am I trading back, or am I trading up, depending on how much draft capital you have, because of the fact that obviously the value of the player, or it's not that the value of the player falls off between 12 and 20, but they might all look the same, and they might all, the projection might look the same. So you start to strategize that way. There's some great players that are going to be, I think, all the way maybe down to the lottery. Now that I sit here and I'm just doing this off the top of my head, but Chase Reed, Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. I think he's going to challenge to be a top 4 pick probably. Carson Carrolls from out here in the Western Hockey League is a farm boy like Brady Martin. Xavier Villeneuve from the Blainville Wasbrian Armada. Easy for me to say, in the Quebec League is an absolute dynamo. He's a Lane Hudson-like. I see in a lot of draft rocks. Actually, I think Sammy had him 17th on his list. He's like right in around 12 or 13 or 14 right now for me. Imagine you're going to get maybe a Lane Hudson light type of player in that range of this draft class. That's how deep it goes. So I'm suggesting to you that there's great value and great opportunity, especially for a team. Look at Calgary; they've already got multiple firsts, and who knows what they're going to do going forward here with the roster. Or if you look at the Vancouver Canucks, or even the Toronto Maple Leafs, who don't have any draft capital, but I don't know what's going to go on there. And if they aren't going to be a team, I'd like to see them. And I don't want this to become a Toronto Maple Leaf thing, but listen, guys, the covers are bare. There's nothing there. So if you are what you are, then sooner or later you start to trade out hopefully an asset or two, even if it's a high-end asset, to get some really high-end draft capital back. It has to enter into the conversation and be part of the strategy. And there's lots to go around in this draft class.
We just had Rick Dhaliwal on, and we were discussing Vancouver. With this draft, would a top 3 pick for sure maybe ease the decision on whether to trade Quinn Hughes quicker than not?
Well, I think that there's a lot that will go into that basket for that decision making. It'll ease the pain. It won't ease the pain right out of the gate next year.
No.
But it'll ease the pain long term for sure. And Quinn Hughes is obviously a special talent. We all know that. Norris Trophy type candidate probably for his entire career. But what's going on in Vancouver for me personally, and you guys would likely agree, and I'm sure Rick does as well, and they put it out there anyways. They're looking to, I guess, reset, which is kind of curious.
Get younger.
Get younger. So, okay, get younger. And so if we just take that, if you're putting it on me, you're my GM, Kyper. How can we get younger? How can we still have a really strong trajectory? Absolutely. Top 3 picks in this draft are going to stabilize the top of your tier in a category, whether that be Verhoff, like I said. He won't be like Quinn Hughes. He'll be different, but he'll be that big, strong 6'4" guy. But even a guy like McKenna or the Stenberg kid, who's a play driver, he's in the top 4 of historical SHL scoring points per game average. And he's the names that are surrounding him, Peter Forsberg, the Sedins. I mean, this kid is a hell of a player. So I don't know that they would want to go back to the Swede necessarily, depending on what happens with Pettersson. I'm spitballing here. I'm just strategizing in my mind. But they could reset things for sure.
Not a terrible year then for a team like the Calgary Flames to say, we're going to do this. We're actually going to go ahead and make some moves.
Yeah. And are they, I guess, is the question, isn't it, Forney? It's
right.
It's an uncomfortable, I walk in that circle, then I'm a scout. So when I see Connie at a restaurant and we're chewing the fat, or if I see some of these guys, I don't really get into any of the noise, if you will. And I do enjoy talking strategy and players, and they know, and he knows, because he likes to scout, by the way. Craig Conroy, he was on the tour 2 weeks ago at Clarkson watching Verhoff live, when Nodak was in there. So he gets out and he scouts, and I think that's a great thing. I had that experience with Dale Talon in the past, and when you have as many high-end picks as they're potentially going to have, they already have a full slate, and they're obviously going to add potentially more to that. Like I'm telling you, the Calgary Flames have a unique opportunity to add 3 or 4 players from this draft class at the high end that by the time they move into that new building, they're going to be there. They're going to be arriving in the National Hockey League. And you know the way it works? Year 1 in a new building, it's a shiny new toy. Everybody's coming anyways, right? But in year 2, they don't want to just come to see the shiny new toy. They want the product to be really good. And so I believe that they could actually assemble that type of group going into year 2, let's say, in the new building, that is really, really dynamic.
Awesome stuff, pal.
Yeah,
really appreciate your time and your insight. Enjoy the game, okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thanks for your time, Books. Appreciate it.
Jason Bukala does an awesome job for us on the Real Kyper and Bourne show and throughout Sportsnet, analyzing some of these great young kids.
I'm guessing, but I'm guessing you don't think that going to college is a good idea for a kid trying to get picked
well,
first.
he's young. He was really young, right?
17 in college was crazy.
But you're up against men, some of them 22, 23. Even at junior, the majority of the guys are 19.
But, I think the idea is that should help you get better, right? You're playing against better competition.
Physically, though, it's a challenge, right? And you can't speed that up if you're getting rattled a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it does depend on what your strengths are, right? Like that guy, McKenna doesn't. I know. Listen, I've seen the kid play a handful of hockey games or whatever, but doesn't sound like he's a big physical force.
So I want to get to this before we leave, and I'll spin it back to you, Sammy, a little bit on the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's a part of you that want the Leafs to tank, right? To lock in a top 5 pick this year.
Big part of me, yeah.
Big part.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that to happen, they'd have to watch how many teams will be underneath them from 1 to 4 for you.
You need lottery ball luck. That's what you need. You need to be the 6th or 7th worst team in the league and hope to God that you get a bounce. That's what it's going to be. Because you're not going to be worse than Calgary. You're not going to be worse than San Jose. I'm not San Jose. San Jose is good now.
So you don't see them legitimately holding one of the top 5 worst seasons to get that pick locked.
I mean, if they committed to it, they could do it pretty easy, right?
I don't think it'll be that easy.
Shut down Matthews for his health.
So if we were to just forecast here, what is the order for you by the end of the year?
Nashville last. Calgary second last.
Second. St. Louis?
No, I think St. Louis is better than Vancouver.
Okay, so
Vancouver
third
worst.
Third last?
I think Sabres will make their way down there.
They'll make their way down there?
They always
do. So the Leafs have to win the lottery to get into a top 5.
Basically, you're going to be the 6th or 7th worst team in the league and hope like hell you get into the top 5. That's what it's going to be.
I mean, if you're going to tank, you can't be there.
If you're going to 7, man, you got to go 4.
Yes. Totally. You got to shut Matthews down. You got to shut Tanev down. You got to shut your goalies down.
Don't do that quite yet because we still have to do a show for
I loved his angle on Calgary, though. He's so right. Watch what these kids can do in year 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, boy. That gives you Calgary Flames should be so excited for that second year in the new building.
Oh, it'd be so fun. New building, the kids are coming, you're doing this whole thing. But if it's
but it's
we
pay
extended
now.
Rasmus Anderson. Yeah, you got to pay. You got to pay.
38-year-old Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, and it's
just do the thing.
And no
man.
kids. That's the difference.
Just do the thing.
I mean, I'm sure that Conroy's had the meetings with Murray Edwards, but he needs to sit down again and be like, look.
Conroy needs a new contract. Have you noticed there's a lot more noise about Craig Conroy needing a new contract?
Yeah, I'm hearing it on every street corner.
They're yelling from the rooftop.
Oh,
I didn't know that was a thing. No.
Well,
so is that why
Eric
Conroy
Francis
is more likely to be like, yes, sir. If we're not rebuilding, then I'm happy to not rebuild.
Yeah.
Whatever you want me to do.
I think they like him. They should sign him.
Yeah.
And have him continue marching down the path to getting Calgary back into contention, however long it may take.
I believe that he's a good GM, and I think they'll figure it out. But they need to go the right direction. So he's free to do the things I'm sure he knows they should be doing. 8-13-3, 6 regulation wins and 24 tries. And this is after a 3-game winning streak that they're on right now.
All right, just one game on tap. One that our Justin Bourne will cover on Sportsnet. Dallas and Edmonton. Give us a prediction. No Rantanen tonight, right?
Yeah.
Bad boy.
I like Edmonton's odds of getting things figured out. Best home record winning percentage in the NHL. They've only played 8 home games. So they're at home tonight.
Oil win.
Our thanks to Rick Dhaliwal and Jason Bukala.
And Luke Fox.
And Luke Fox, yes. Luke, we're not your father. Hey, go home and get some rest, man. You're sneezing, you're coughing. What is going on?
Brought to you by Neocitrin.
Listen, I'm playing hurt. I'm like the Leafs captain.
Fade away.
Parting shot.
Fade away jumper.
Enjoy your one game tonight with my buddy Justin, and we're back tomorrow on Real Kyper and Bourne.